Hey guys, it's Taiga Phoenix here, leader of the Common Striders, here bringing you another deck profile for the channel. Here we have my Bluestone Dragon Maelstrom deck profile for you guys. Now, you saw my Narukami deck profile, that was my Lightning Dragon. Here goes my Water Dragon. Maelstrom got support, like 2 sets ago, 3 sets ago? Let's see. 2 sets ago, got support. And here we have my new deck profile for him. I know on the channel like a couple years ago, back when Aquaforce first dropped, you saw my fight against Jet. Now here is my deck profile for Maelstrom. So let's get all up into this. Starting off with our grade 3s. I am running 3 copies of the OG. Well, he's not the OG because standard, but he's the first from standard. Bluestone Dragon Maelstrom. Maelstrom here is our original VR for Aquaforce. He was, kind of lackluster back in the original, but here he's back again. He's still alive, he's still around, his deck still works. He still got the SP1, sorry about the bump. As you see, Maelstrom here has two skills, 2 very interesting skills. His Act on Vanguard Circle, you can counterblast 1, and give your entire front row +3. That's the main thing, that's the first thing he can do. That's the first skill. It was very lackluster back in the day, and it's kind of still lackluster now, but it still comes around in handy when you have units that can't touch force, or they he himself, if you don't have a booster for him, he can't touch force, but using that skill makes him 15, so he can now hit force, vanguards. It's just a nice little +3 if you want to use it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I use very little, like I use counterblast in this deck, but I have a counter charger, and it's more likely I won't use it, but if I have to, I have to. His other skill is the more useful one, is when your rear guard attack hits, if it was the 3rd or 4th battle of that turn, getting in that old Aquaforce swinging mechanic, you can discard 2 cards and restand his Vanguard. It's a restand without drive minus, keep that in mind, because a lot of other clans have restand Vanguards that go drive -1, drive -2, something like that. This guy is a restander, and if his conditions go off, he'll restand with no drive minus, so you can twin drive, swing with your other rear guard, and swing with the 2 that's swinging 3rd or 4th, and if either one of them hits, you get to restand him by pitching 2 cards. So you can twin drive, then that automatically gives you the 2 cards. So every turn, even if you have an empty hand by your swing, you'll have him live if the effect goes off. Moving right along, I would want 4 of him, but since the new support came out, his price kind of jumped up, and I'm like, 3 is still fine, because before we got the new support, this was our main boss. The upgrade that we got for Maelstrom, the set after that one, is Bluestone Dragon Glory Maelstrom. Bluestone Supreme Dragon Glory Maelstrom. Glory Maelstrom is a good ride. He's like, he was the boss before. He's more of a, he was the one we wanted to go into, the one we wanted to finish the game on. But now, the way the deck works, either one of them is good. It doesn't really matter who you're on. But Bluestone Supreme Dragon Glory Maelstrom has one skill only, and it's Act on Vanguard Circle, counterblast 1. Until the end of the turn, your opponent cannot intercept, and they can only call up to 1 card to the guard from their hand to the Guardian Circle for each battle. Which that'll, stop. That stops your opponent from just going like, oh, I'm gonna just sure your attacks might be weak, but I can just guard them with easily just these 2 cards, and don't you only use 1 card, so you've got a perfect guard or have a high guard or have a high shield in your hand. But the second part of this skill makes it goes off even more, is the second part, if your soul has a card with Maelstrom in his name, so either himself, Glory Maelstrom, or regular Maelstrom, then all your front row units get plus 10,000 power into the end of the turn, which makes that harder for them to guard, because now not only can they not intercept, can they only use 1 card to guard, you now have a whole front row plus 10k, so basically it's like getting a front trigger to the front row. That's not also including his drive checks, which it's cool. Like both Maelstroms, you kind of want to swing with them first, because if your deck, before we have units, there's Tidal Assault, there's Algos, and there's the new it's not Tetra, it's the new dragon we got, that they want to be the first attack, so their skills can go off. But if you're not running any of them, the ones that want to swing first, your Vanguard is really a better swing, and the fact that you can drive check a front trigger and be like, oh well, Glory Maelstrom gave them +10. Now with this front trigger is +20, and you only can use one card to guard. It pretty much shuts down every single guard in the game except for perfect guards. Except for Sentinels, I should say, because 30k shields can also probably guard them. But if they don't got either of those in their hand, they're pretty much taking a lot of damage, and it's probably ending the game, because since you have to have a Maelstrom in the soul, you'll probably have to have them at high damage just because it's late in the game. Like, you already rolled 2 times, so it's like you're more than likely going to kill them. Those are the only grade 3s in the deck. Moving right along, we have one of the new cards we got from this set, and that is Drifting Flow Fencer. Now, Drifting Flow, I run 3 copies of Drifting Flow Fencer. His skills, he has 2 skills. Auto on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle when placed. Check top 7 cards of your deck, reveal it to a Maelstrom, and add it to your hand and shuffle. So, you just check top 7 for any of these guys, the 7 copies of them I have in my deck. You're just looking for them, you're just checking them. It's like you're playing one of the new grade ones of the grade 3 searchers, because they just like check top 7 for a specific card. The good thing about him is Vanguard or Rearguard, so anytime in the game, if you just call him, you can check top 7 for a Maelstrom and get it to your hand. His second skill is why one of the grade 3s that was in my deck that I took out, he replaced it, is when it attacks, if it's the 4th battle of that turn or more, and you have a Vanguard with Maelstrom in its card name, this unit gets plus 15k until end of that battle. He replaced my dragon I was running, my other dragon, Riptide Dragon, whose skill was basically the same. It's just at the end, he can only attack if it's the 4th battle or more of that turn, and when he attacks, he gets plus 20k. So he becomes a 32k attacker. This guy only becomes 24 plus 24, but the fact that he can just attack is better. He's a grade 2, so I'm not cluttering my deck with a grade 3 without a marker. He can just attack. Like, I don't have to give him the power for him to swing, whereas that dragon, if I don't have 4 attacks or I have no way to make 4 attacks, he's just sitting there, not being able to swing. So yeah, he's a good card, and I only run 3. You'll see why I only run 3. Like, you would think, why is he not running 4? But you'll see later why I'm not running 4. Next, we have a card that came out when Revan came out. We have here Press Stream Dragon. It's grade 2. I run 3 copies of him also. His skill is Act, Counterblast 1, and discard a card with Maelstrom in its card name from your hand. And one of your Vanguards with Maelstrom in the card name gets plus 10k and a drive until the end of the turn. Before, that was just a nice little way to give their Vanguard an extra drive. Another cool thing it can do is, if you do this skill and you give it to Maelstrom, the original Maelstrom, he now has triple drive and 22k, which means he can swing triple drive 22k. Then you can swing with your other units, and if your 3rd or 4th battle hit, you can discard 2 cards and restand them, which means he's still 22k with triple drive. So you can drive check 6 times. If you have 2 of Press Stream Dragon and you can get the conditions to go off, you literally can make your Vanguard 4 drive with 32,000 with 4 drive, which means Maelstrom can swing 32 quad drive. Then, if the 3rd or 4th battle hit, you can discard 2 cards and just swing again 32,000 quad drive. It's just, this card is really good. The only problem with him, and the reason I don't run him at 4 is because that's all he does. He just power, and he's an 8k grade 2, and that's all he does. If you don't have the Maelstroms in hand, he's a vanilla. If you don't have the Counterblast, he's a vanilla. It's just, he's a good card. He's a good card to just continue with old Maelstrom shenanigans, but running him at 4, I'm like, he'll be just a dead card. I see him enough that it works. Going on with the grade 2s, moving up. One of the newest cards is probably one of the best cards in the deck that, well, she's one of them. Not the best, but she is one of them. We have Jewel Staff of Emerald. Alpida, yeah. Grade 2. She came out in the set, the most recent set. Her skill, well, the most recent Aquaforce set. Her skill is continuous on Vanguard and Rearguard Circle. Vanguard and Guardian Circle. My bad. Continuous on Rearguard and Guardian Circle. If you have a Vanguard with Maelstrom in its name, this unit gets plus 5k power and plus 5k shield. So it's a 14k attack on a Rearguard Circle. It's a 19k attack on an Excel 2 and a 24k attack on an Excel 1. And it's also a 10k interceptor if you need it. As long as your Vanguard's Maelstrom, which 3/3s in our deck are Maelstrom, so it's only going to be Maelstroms. Her other skill is on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle, which this is where her real power comes in. When it attacks a Vanguard, Counterblast 1 until the end of the battle. To the end of that battle, your when attack hits effects activate even if the attack did not hit. Ladies and gentlemen, they just powered up this deck fully. Now, the problem with Maelstrom, the original Maelstrom card, the problem with him was that the third or fourth battle had to hit. So your opponent knew which ones to guard. They would eat your Vanguard and then eat another rear guard and then be like, I just got to guard these two so your real shenanigans can't go off. And you're like, well, if I can make them really big, I can shut them down. But then by the time they take your first Vanguard hit, they probably hit a defensive trigger. Now your third and fourth battles are hard. It's easier for them to guard, and they just guard it. So Maelstrom like really was downside because they knew which ones they had to guard for you actually to continue your plays. Now with this card and one more card we'll talk about in a later, they can make your on-hit effects activate their battles. So now, the fact that her skill is just like, okay, I'll swing with her counterblast now, even if this attack doesn't hit, I'll get my Maelstrom to restand anyway. So it's like, that's the thought process with your opponent. You can play it with them, is that they know you're going to get the effect anyway, so why not guard it? A lot of people will be like, oh, well, if you're going to get the effect anyway, I'm going to just eat it. And I'm like, you're dumb. You're not just taking extra damage. Or they'll be stupid and be like, well, and it's her battle, so you can literally go, okay, I swing for the third battle with another rear guard. And they're like, oh, well, you have that grade 2 that's going to get you the effect anyway. I might as well just eat this one. That's the dumb side. Because if they do that and they just eat the third hit and I get the restand off then, I don't have to pay the counterblast for her skill. Like, they're stupid, and the fact that they ate it means I don't have to counterblast. Now I just get the effects and I don't have to worry about her hitting. Which means for her skill, I can just be like, I have another on-hit skill I want to activate. I'll just do it for this battle. So, she's a great card. She makes Maelstrom just live now. Like, the original Maelstrom just so much better because now I don't got to rely on hitting. I just have to have the cost to pay for her. The last of the grade 2s, we're running 4 copies of Coral Assault. Coral Assault is a staple in every Aquaforce deck. Regardless if you're playing Maelstrom, you're playing Blue Wings, maybe. I don't know about Blue Wings. They have a lot of stuff. You're playing Maelstrom, you're playing Lambros, or you're playing Revan. Regardless, probably even Valios, who comes out in the later sets. I would reveal for later. Regardless of who you're playing, Coral Assault is a great grade 2 that should be in your deck at 3 or 4. His skill is continuous during the battle of attack. If you have 4 more rested rear guards, 4 more rested other units. Keep that in mind, other units. Your Vanguard too. He gets plus 15k, so he becomes 24, just like our other boy. But the fact that it's just okay, it's like rested. It doesn't matter what battle he swings. You can make him the third battle, and he'd be like, well, your Vanguard's rested, the unit behind your Vanguard's rested, a unit on the Excel mark is rested, and now you're boosting him with another unit that's 4 units rested. Bam! I get my 15k. His other skill at the end of the turn, if your number of attacks, total of your attacks was 4 or more, you can put him into your soul and draw a card. So, as long as you have 4 swings the turn, you can draw a card by moving him into the soul, which gives you soul for some skills you might need, and who knows. Moving on to the grade 1s. Here we have the other grade 1 that we received in the set. The other one that I was like, when I said Elpida is the one of the most important units, here goes the other one. Here's Radiate Assault. His skill is, he only has 1 skill and it's on rear guard circle. When placed, Soul Blast 1. Until the end of the turn, for the battle that this unit attacked or boosted, your when attack hits effects activate, even the attack does not hit. He does the same thing she does, but it's like, unlike her, when they see her, they're like, okay, he can do this. He can choose to activate her skill. I can be like, the third battle swings, and on him, like the third battle will swing, and they'll be like, well, I'll just take that. Well, now the attack hits, so now the effect goes off. And then it's like, well, I don't have to use their skill. With him, it's on play, so you have to proc it off, and then on effects, they know what's going to happen regardless now that he's on the field. So, like, unlike her, she can just sit there for the next turn. If they don't retire her, bind her, send her to the deck or something, if she's still in the rear guard circle, you can just use her again next turn. Him, it's on place, so once he's placed, that is it. His skills are active. The other part of his skill is, then, after you've, Soul Blasted for the cost, he also has, then you can put a card with Maelstrom from your drop zone onto the bottom of your deck, and then you draw a card. So basically, you call him, you Soul Blast 1, you choose a card with Maelstrom in his name from your discard pile, what are we playing, Pokemon? From your drop zone, move it to the bottom of your deck, and you draw. So, like, it's just a cycle. You call him, you Soul Blast, you put a card back from the drop, and then you draw. And I think the good part about that is there's a lot of, with the grade 2 earlier that says discard a Maelstrom, you can discard that Maelstrom. You give your Vanguard Maelstrom plus 10k and plus 1 drive, then call him down with a Soul Blast and put that Maelstrom you just discarded back onto the bottom of the deck and then draw. So you recycle the card you just paid a cost for. And with all the cards in this deck that can search Maelstrom, putting it on the bottom and after shuffling with another skill is going to get you your Maelstrom again. You're never going to not have them. So moving along here. Oh, 4 copies. So yeah, 4 copies of Radiate Assault. Really great, grade 1 for Maelstrom. Moving along here, we have 3 copies of our Girl Hill Bubble Ball Corporal. She is new also. She is on Vanguard on Rear Guard Circle. When its attack or the attack it boosted hit a Vanguard, look at the top 7 cards of your deck for a Maelstrom, add 1 to your hand. Put it into your hand, reveal 1, put it into your hand, shuffle, and shuffle your deck. So it's legit just like the grade 2, but it has to be her attack has to hit, or the attack she boosted hit. But the fact that we have cards like Radiate Assault and we have Elpida, they can make on hits activate regardless. Like we said, it's not just Maelstrom. This deck now has on hit pressure because it's not even on hit pressure. We have on hit pressure, a lot of on hit skills in this deck, but the fact that we also have just units that can make on hits activate, you can legit go ride her. You can legit ride her, then call down Radiate Assault behind her, Soul Blast 1, and then Soul Blast 1, and then just swing with that column for 16k. And regardless if the attack hits or not, you're gonna check top 7 for Maelstrom, and that is why she's only in at 3. Now that we have her and we have our Fencer, we have 2 cards in our deck at 6. Like altogether, there's 6 of them that can just search for Maelstroms. But here's the best one that came out with Revan. And came out with our Press Stream Dragon. I run 3 copies of Analyze Shooter. Analyze Shooter is a 6k grade 1. It's really weak, but his skill is when the attack it boosted hits a Vanguard, Soul Blast 1. Discard 1 card from your hand. Search your deck for up to 2 cards with Maelstroms with different names. Reveal them and put them into your hand to shuffle your deck. He is legit the best card ever. He can just search them, not check top 7, not check top 5. He just gets them if his attack hits. And the fact that we have cards like Elpida and Radiate, they can just make his own hit activate regardless. So legit, you can, some turns I go, okay, here's what I'll do. Ride for first grade 1 ride, call behind her, swing. This is 14k. Will you eat it? I get 2 on hits if you let it go through. They'll guard it because, of course, they'll try to guard it. And if it breaks through, I check top 7, I Soul Blast, and I get some. But that's not, and I might get some, and I'll get the 2. But here's the real kicker. After I take that first damage, because I don't call a front row, and I just eat the first damage they'll do because they'll will swing, they want a drive check, I'll eat it. Ride into Elpida, and then go 15k, skill, counter blast 1, on hits will activate this battle. If it hits or not, his Soul Blast will activate, and I'll get both Maelstroms into my hand. And it's like, they can't stop it. It's because it's automatic. It's going to happen because it's her effect. And it's just like, I can search my grade 3s. If I literally open up with Elpida and this, I don't have to worry about trying to search for a grade 3. I will get my grade 3s regardless. And that's why I run 3 copies of it. It's just like one of the best cards in the deck. It gets you both of them. So any of your skills that say like discard a Maelstrom or put a Maelstrom from drop to hand, and you need to discard a card for something for like a perfect guard or something, drop a Maelstrom. Literally, Maelstrom is our boss unit, but he's also like a tool for us to use and put back into the deck and send out of the deck and add it back to the hand and put it into the discard, put it back in the deck. And you can recycle them so easily, and it's just so fun just to be like, Maelstrom's not just our boss. He's also just a resource. So yeah, 3 copies of Analyze Shooter. And the last 2 spots in my deck for grade 1, 3 to 1, not including triggers, we have 2 copies of Light Signals, Penguin Soldier. Light Signals, Penguin Soldier was in the first set. It's just a great one. Its act skill is you can rest it to give the unit in front of it +5 until the end of the turn. This can help sometimes when you're like, the unit I want to boost, sure, it can get +8 for the first battle, but say it restands, it won't have the 8k boost. You can literally just go like this, rest. He'll have continuous. Sure, he's minusing 3 from the first attack, but he'll have +5 for each attack he does. So that's a good card. The other part you use him for is at the end of the battle, or when your unit attacks. If it's the 4th attack or more of the turn, or just the 4th battle period. It has to be the 4th battle, my bad. Retire this unit and countercharge. He's just legit. He's the countercharge I was talking about. I run 2 of them. I don't counterblast heavy in this deck, but when I need it, it's there. That's good. Lastly is the triggers, and when I said in our Arcami deck profile, I said I love Draco Kids. My starter is Blow Bubble Draco Kid. My heal trigger is the new Activate Draco Kid. I run 5 front, so it's 4 copies of Outride Draco Kid and 1 copy of Dolphin Soldier of the high speed raids. It's just because it's a front trigger, and yeah. If I can run another Draco Kid, I would. So that's all my Draco Kids. And now we have, because it's Blue Storm Dragon Maelstrom, we have Blue Storm, Marine General Despina as 3 crits. I run 5 crit because my other 2 crits are Kelpie Rider Petros, which is a Sentinel crit for 30k shield. And for the other Sentinels in my deck, I run 2 copies of Emerald Shield Pascal. I go to even split because I want that pressure of just a 5 crit and the 5 front, so they have to worry about that I might crit them or I might front them. And the fact that I only run 2 draws doesn't hurt as much because you have so much draw power in this deck. Not only do you have cards that can cycle them out, the cards that just search your grade 3s, and then once you have Maelstrom, if you have Press Stream, you get 3 drive a turn, you're dropping 2, but you're still plussing 4 in the end because you triple drive, you drop 2, you triple drive again. So you go up by 4. If you have 8, you just plus a lot in your hand. So it's literally like you don't need draw triggers when your deck legit can deck thin out pretty fast. That is my deck profile for Blue Storm Dragon Glory. Well, Blue Storm Dragon Maelstrom and Blue Storm Supreme Dragon Glory Maelstrom. Thank you guys for watching. More to come. I did 2 deck profiles because I'm not with the Striders right now, COVID right now. But once we get together, you're going to see some fights. I want to do a deck profile for everybody's main clan, and if you don't mind, guys don't mind to see them. But, so that'll be soon. I know for probably Jupiter, it's probably going to be Bermuda since they're getting their new support soon. For Jet, he probably want to do Victor, maybe, I don't know. He loves his Novas. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will get a deck profile from Jakai, and we'll see like if it's gonna be Gurgurwit now or Gurgurwit after restriction. I would like to do Gurgurwit after restriction to see how he's doing after the restriction from Percival. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching my deck profile. Thank you guys for supporting us right now. More videos, fights, and stuff to come. I might start up doing EX playthrough again, even though it's been a year since the game dropped, I think, or a couple months at least. But no, been a whole year, yeah. Yeah, thanks you guys for watching. As always, sorry I rambled on for long. I'm just so happy to be back. Striders out.